Well, hello there. Hello, my dear friends and fans. Welcome to, most regrettably, Lemony Snicket's, a series of unfortunate events for the Nintendo GameCube. Now, this game is one that has been part of my childhood for a very long time. A very long time. Let's say, like, forever, basically. I'm going to be turning down the sound a little bit in the music so you can actually hear what's happening. The game is quite good, but it is one of those games that... It was released as a tie-in game. It was released as a game for the film version of a series of unfortunate events back in 2004. And as a child, I was very much into this series. I was very, very, very in-depth into this series, this franchise, these books. It was part of my childhood and part of the reason I believe I am the way I am today. So if you want someone to blame for how messed the hell up I am, you can blame Mr. Lemony Snicket for that. So, what I'm doing here, of course, is what we call stalling. Stalling is a word which here means trying to prevent the game from beginning before anything else happens. Of course, we don't want to head into the event too soon. Because if it were, as it says, a series of unfortunate events, well, why would we want to play that? Of course, I mean, I'm stalling. It's my job. You have to play this game, as miserable as it is. So let's begin, shall we? Can't hold it off any longer. We're going to create a save game, and go from there. And here we go. I'll shut up and allow the game to speak for itself.
The video game you are about to play is extremely unpleasant. If you are interested in casting magic spells or saving the Earth from alien invasions, you might as well stop right now. If a happy ending is important to you, you would certainly be better off with something else. In this game, not only is there no happy ending, there is no happy beginning, and very few happy things in the middle. This is because not very many happy things happened in the lives of the three Baudelaire children, who are Violet, the oldest, her brother Klaus, and their very young sister, Sunny. Sunny was at an age where one mostly speaks in a series of unintelligible shrieks, which most people had trouble understanding. For instance...
Doc!
Mr. Poe? From the bank?
Children, I'm afraid I must inform you of an extremely unfortunate event. I'm very sorry to tell you this. Your parents have perished in a fire that destroyed your entire home.
Perished is a word which here means they were lost forever to everyone who loved them, and that the world had suddenly become a lonely and sinister place in which the children had to see their way.
I know you must feel awful right now, but I have some very good news for you. As the executor of your parents' estate, I've made arrangements for you to live with your dear uncle, Count Olaf. Consider yourselves lucky, children. He's an actor by trade. Generosity is rare in his profession.
We don't know a Count Olaf.
That's problematic.
Hello. I am your beloved Count Olaf, and welcome to my humble dwelling, or in the words of the great French poet Ovid, mi casa et su casa. Violet, enchanté.
How do you do?
And this must be Klaus.
Ovid was Roman, and he didn't speak Spanish, and he never said that.
Klaus!
What a darling child. I have it underlined. I'll show you later.
Yahoo!
Mr. Poe, I will raise these orphans as if they were my own. Now, where do I sign for the fortune? Children. How do we get this done?
Oh, you won't officially have guardianship until the hearing Thursday morning.
I see. And what am I to do with them until then?
Excuse me?
Nothing? Never mind.
Yes. Well, I'd better be getting back to the bank.
Oh, Oh, can't you stay? I was going to pull out some board games, followed by face painting, and make your own sundae. Well, if you must go.
Now, children, remember, if you need anything, feel free to contact me at the bank.
Orphans, let me show you around the house. And after all your chores are done, this is where you'll sleep, time permitting. As you can see, I've stocked the place with a multitude of jollies, knickknacks, and paddywhacks for your amusement. I find that giving is the greatest gift of all. Whew. If that music behind me, you'll be crying right now. By the way, there's a small rat infestation problem in the house. Make yourself useful and take care of it. I do it myself, but I find rats to be deeply unpleasant. I don't know. Perhaps there's something about them that reminds me of myself.
Klaus, that was a very big rat.
How are we gonna get rid of rats? Exterminators use traps and poisons. We don't have anything.
Like many people, Violet Baudelaire was afraid of rats and didn't want to have anything to do with them. Unlike many people, she was also a brilliant inventor. Anyone who knew Violet well could tell she was thinking very hard when her long hair was tied up in a ribbon to keep it out of her eyes.
I've got an idea for a device that'll do the job. I'll need a spring, a broom, a coffee can, and that boxing glove.
And so it is our turn to engage in the unfortunate events. There's a lot of talking in this game,
Both Baudelaire children will be needed on this adventure. Try switching to Klaus now.
A lot of talking, a lot of narration from our friend Lemony Snicket. As you can see, our three unfortunate protagonists here. In this case, we're Violet and Sunny.
I'll take it
We
from
switch to
here.
Klaus here.
Well done. At times, the children will be faced with more laborious tasks. A phrase which here means pushing heavy objects across the room.
Now, when I originally played this game, I played it on the Xbox. I did not play it on the Nintendo GameCube, but I have organized my controller in such a way to make it much more like the Xbox version.
Nice
So,
work. While jumping is only recommended for people with strong knees or insects in their trousers, let's give it a go.
I'm already ahead of you, so.
Stealing is a very impolite habit, and it is something you should never, ever, ever, ever do.
Of course.
Borrowing, on the other hand, is tolerable. Collect that boxing glove now.
I don't think Count Oz will mind if I just borrow this glove.
Even the smartest person in the world can be forgetful at times. If you've forgotten what you're looking for, this list should do the trick.
Alright, so as Lemony was saying, we have a wonderful little help hint system. Because remember, this is a game meant for children.
Once
Very
you feel
depressed
you've
children.
spent enough time in this dreadful place, you may leave through that door.
So, our entire goal here is to, in this case, create a device to get rid of these rats over here that are infesting the house. And as orphans who are in a very unfortunate situation, that means it falls to us, most regrettably. So we're doing this, we'll be doing a lot of exploring of Count Olave's house, looking for items. The game is pretty self-explanatory, but does occasionally have its little sticking points.
In these dark moments, when their spirits were down, one thing always made the children feel better. Memories of their late mother and father, who they missed very much.
Yes, so that is not a health meter that Klaus has. That is not a sanity meter or a health meter. It is a misery meter. And the more damage the Baudelaires take, the more miserable they become. Let's see, what else are we looking for? Nothing here. I don't see anything here. We'll give a little exploration of Olaf's house since we're here. He lives in a rather dilapidated manner. Quite a twisted version of what the Baudelaires are used to. The camera is a little... Oh, the camera has the other controls, my bad. It does this. I'm used to the camera from Dead by Daylight. How unfortunate. So, of course we have Olaf being very, very sure of himself, full of himself, this deranged former actor. You seem to have a preoccupations with some, with a very certain part of the body. that being the eyes. Now, of course, the eyes are the window to the soul, and if we were to look at count Olaf's eyes, we'd see nothing but vile and terrible, terrible motives. But if we were to look into your eyes, perhaps, dear viewer, I suppose we would see something more concerning, seeing that you're already probably crying by now, seeing how miserable this game is for our poor protagonists. Get more Olaf portraits. And I see he likes to burn ants. What a very fancy drawing that is. I think we might have to come back to that one. So as we're looking around here, lots of books, probably books he's never read. They look to be blank. That looks like a bit of foreshadowing. A word which here means something that will become relevant later. And that looks like, Sir, I have questions. Violet, are you seeing this? No? Okay. Well, let's see what else we can find. Surely this broom's gotta be somewhere, right? Oh, what's this?
It's locked, but I can see inside. It looks like some sort of supply closet.
Look at this. It's a ventilation shaft.
Shaped like an
Klaus
eye!
Miller loved books. Nothing pleased him more than spending an afternoon filling up his head with their contents. And everything he read, he remembered.
I read a book about home ventilation once. From the size and age of the house, I'd say this is part of an old remote-mounted multi-port system. It should connect to other nearby vents and may lead to rooms behind locked doors.
Sonny, you up for a challenge?
Klaus, in your reading, do you ever read anything about eye-shaped vents? Is that
While
normal,
I
Klaus?
personally am not a fan of small, dark spaces, Sunny Baudelaire was extremely brave for her age.
Yes, indeed. Not only are you playing as Violet and Klaus, the two older children, you're also playing as the baby. You get to play as a baby, and she is a badass. She's a Little Miss Badass, Sunny Baudelaire. Trust me, she is. She's Little Miss Badass. If you've never read these books, trust me, she's Little Miss Badass. So this is one of our many segments. We do these little platforming segments, and they're very much like a Donkey Kong or similar experience. The game is very good at blending different influences from different games, and making the game to be a mixture of different fun adventures, and kind of giving us an idea of, or rather, taking from many influences to create kind of one amalgam experience. Now, I still have the muscle memory from when I was a kid, so you're not going to see me mess up too terribly much, I hope, but we'll see.
Sonny, try biting through the board that's blocking the door.
But like I said, I did used to play this game quite often as a child. It was one of my favorite games.
Sunny liked to bite things with her 4 very sharp teeth.
Yes, as Lemony says, Sunny's special power is biting things, because that is the age she is at. She enjoys biting things.
Sunny didn't enjoy pushing nearly as much as biting, but she would do anything to help her brother and sister.
And so we have unlocked the door for our siblings, and Sunny, being very small, can get to those spaces. Her segments are very much specific, but they're no less fun.
I wonder what these are. Maybe we'll need them later.
I will interject here to remind the viewer that, although these collectibles look quite valuable and important, they are in actuality rather banal, a word which here means about as unique as a jiggy and about as useful as an ice key. They will, however, be collected, and do something later on as a bonus for the game, though someone wanting an extra helping of this game is about as questionable as someone wanting an extra helping of live spiders in their pasta puttanesca. Well, that looks like a very fine distraction, but I'm not sure if that's really what we need right now. I'll collect it anyway, but... And so we have everything we need.
We'll start with the coffee can. That'll serve as a casing for the device.
So this is our next area. We're getting a lot of mechanics explained to us.
Next, we'll use the broom. It'll be the handle you hold on to, Klaus.
A lot of things explained to us very, very fast, in that this is our inventing screen, Violet being the most brilliant 14-year-old inventor alive in this universe.
Next up, the spring. Springs store and supply energy, which we'll be needing for sure.
And between you and me, Violet was always my favorite. I always really identified with her as an elder sibling.
And last, the boxing glove. Guaranteed to deliver a solid punch.
And so
there you have it. I call it the Brilliant Bopper.
Brilliant! So this is our first weapon of the game. Violet will be creating our weapons and tools as needed, and she will be kind of the person who gives us everything we need to have. Saving, well, also being what the Baudelaires need from their situation, and what I need from this playthrough, is a word which here means placing a checkpoint for the player in a video game, so that if something awful happens to them, they may continue from that point instead of beginning again from the start. As with other games of this era, this one saves for the player automatically, and does so at specific points. While one is tempted to believe that this is a kindness and improvement from the days when games use password systems or codes, it is actually a terrible thing in this particular game. In fact, it's far kinder that rather than save this game or allow it to save for you, you save yourself from further misery by simply turning the game off before it has a chance to continue any further. Being a very clever and resourceful young orphan, she is incredibly good at inventing. The other two are more have reading, as Klaus thinks, and who said Sunny is biting. So now we've got a tool, and we use it like this. I love how the game makes it so that you do a little exploration before you do anything else, and kind of figure out what to do. This camera is so slow. I keep forgetting it's not like Dead by Daylight. I'm so used to a very fast, responsive camera, and this game doesn't have that. This game is a much more limited experience and a much more slow experience than Dead by Daylight. It being a children's game. I do find it very interesting that the game decided to give these little unfortunate touches. You know, put a chamber pot in there. I mean, you know, I haven't seen a bathroom in Olaf's house. That seems a little sus.
You can take care of this. Right, Klaus?
Now, Violet is scared of rats. She is not going to engage in this. She also does not have a weapon. And surely those rats are as big as Sunny.
Perfect
So we're not
for
gonna hurt
shaking
her.
hands with extremely large people, or clearing rats out of a room. Your
So our
choice.
task, of course, is to bop all the rats. We got 3 of them. We got plenty of time. There's no rush. And we're going to be doing a lot of bopping of things. Did I break this? I'm going to try to break everything. This will be as near to 100% run as I can manage, so... Yo! I just 2-tapped those! I think Klaus just got a taste for blood. Kiddo, it's a little early for that. We're only in the first book. Don't become a nihilist just yet. God. So we're going to be playing Klaus for a little while. We will play Violet later once she gets her own tool to deal with things, but that's not until much later. I'm going to kind of let the game speak for itself a little.
Poor rats!
As I kind of explore and do this task, but as I am engaging in this very unfortunate task that I am doing right now with the rats, I will give a little bit of background on my history with a series of unfortunate events. When I was a kid in middle school, I was looking for something a little different from Harry Potter, and at the time I was very much interested in like the young adult type of novels. I was a very big avid reader. Interesting clock. Can I clock his lights out? No? Okay. But yeah. So, I got into a series of unfortunate events, mostly in middle school. Ouch. Whoops, my bad. That was my bad. That should not have happened. I apologize. Come here. This rat
You're
is...
getting good at this.
Wow.
Let's keep looking.
That rat is very, That rat did not want to die! That rat did not want to die. I'm sorry about that. That took way longer than it was supposed to. I apologize. But yes, as I was saying, I got into these books in middle school, and I became very much into the series. Generally speaking, yeah, that's interesting. Can I open it?
We'll need to find a key for this.
Alright.
I don't remember seeing a swimming pool.
Do I want a swimming count in a swimming pool? Question, answer no. I don't. I don't think he has one.
No need for this now, but it could be useful later.
Okay, so as you can see, the glittering objects will be used for inventions later. We don't need them right now. Violet has nothing to invent just yet, so I'm going to go back and get some health, and we will go back to where we came. But, as I was saying, my experience with a series of unfortunate events began in middle school, and I read the first book. I was a little intimidated, being a very easily influenced young child, by the background of the back of the covers, the snicket warning labels, as I like to call them, or these snicket warnings, wherein I was very much of the assumption that yes, it was something I didn't want to read, but at the same time, you know, kind of intrigued. So I did end up reading them, and I immediately checked out The Bad Beginning and started reading it, and I fell absolutely in love with it. Because it was one of the only book series at the time that treated me like an actual adult. That is, it treated me like a serious person, like I wasn't stupid.
What's that? It's a telegram. To Violet Klaus and Sonny Baudelaire. Beware Count Olaf. Stop. Motives highly questionable. Stop. We are collecting evidence of wrongdoings. Help us find more. Stop. When assembled, all will be revealed. Stop. P.S. The world is quiet here.
Where did it come from?
It says that it was delivered by the very fast delivery service.
Well, what a very fortuitous discovery that is.
There are often secrets to be found when investigating the lives of the Baudelaire orphans. This will be a good place to keep track of them all.
And this is our special little secrets menu. If we collect up just those puzzle pieces and later packages, we will be able to find interesting little tidbits and clues. These are our collectibles for the game, basically.
We'll need to find a key for this.
You sure we can't just, like, make some sort of lockpick? I mean, Violet's pretty smart. Couldn't she just make, like, a... Could I get it? Couldn't we make a lockpick for this? No? No, the unfortunate truth is we need a key? Okay, fine. But yes, I like the series because
oh, no,
it was...
this house is overrun.
It was one of the only series that at the time treated me as an adult and gave me something that I could kind of sink my teeth into and think about. It was the first series that I really read that had the whole conspiracy theory angle, the dark themes, the devious tone, the sense that things weren't always going to be alright. Not a lot of children's media at the time did that, and it still doesn't really. Like, it's a little more... This rat... Wow, this... Hey!
We should find the kitchen. I bet most of them are in there.
That rat... You're seeing this shit, right? You saw... That's just how the game goes, man.
It's tempting, but this is our new home, and Count Olaf is our guardian. We have to stay.
Do we really, though, Klaus? Like, do we really? Can't we just, like, run? You know, I feel like we could just, like, run, and it wouldn't be a problem, and we wouldn't have to deal with any of that, and it'd be completely fine if we just, you know, left and, you know, ran to, like, Mr. Poe or someone else. Like, do we have to really have to stay here?
This piano's taking quite a beating. Count Olaf should have it replaced.
Violet, I realize you came from a life of privilege, but not everyone can just, like, you know, grab a new, like, own a new piano and replace it, dude. I mean, that's all I'm saying. Okay, the parlor is locked. The door is locked.
I'm sure this will come in handy later.
What's that supposed to mean, Klaus? What's that supposed to mean? What do you mean it'll come in handy later? I guess it's maybe a little dark even for Lemony Snicket. Maybe I shouldn't... Yeah, that's a little dark even for Lemony Snicket. I'm not gonna go there. So, of course, the only place we can go, we are railroaded, is the kitchen. And, of course, there are rats in the kitchen. Why wouldn't there be rats in the kitchen? That's a great place to find rats if you're living in Count Olaf's house.
This house is filthy. How can anyone live like this?
Very good question. Maybe Count Olaf is a germophile. I mean, maybe it's his kink. Don't be ashamed. Yeah, most of it is just, ow! Bopping stuff. We got to... They'll try to run. They're very skittery little creatures, as you know. So the Brilliant Bopper will be our weapon for us, and there's our 25th piece now. So every time we get 25, there's a secret revealed. We can go find it in the area and explore. I'm gonna try my best to get all the Olaf ones here so we
Great job, Klaus. Let's go tell Count Olaf we're finished.
Can that wait, Violet? No? Okay.
Did you hear something?
If nothing was out
There's a note over
that
here.
noise?
It's from Count Olaf.
Dear orphans, your handling of the rodent matter was sufficient enough that I'll allow you to clear out the spiders as well. Deal with it quietly. I am rehearsing and will not tolerate interruption!
Spiders? Big? Hairy? Spiders?
I've got an idea. I'll need a funnel, an inner tube, a fork, a fan, and our lunch.
Is that our lunch? Couldn't we find a more adequate lunch? Maybe some nice Italian food? That'd be nice. Well, that's that. I'm gonna save here, and that will probably be the first of our videos here. So I'm gonna find a good spot to kind of pause
We've got
here.
the rotten fruit. Let's look around for the other items.
Yes, Violet. I think we'll do that in the next video. So, until next time, this is the Phantom Safety Pin. This has been our unfortunate Baudelaire orphans.
It's my turn.
And this is a series of unfortunate events, and I will see you most horribly and regrettably in the next one. Thank you. Goodbye.